Okay, let's dive into this. Picture a scenario. A counselor keeps jumping in with advice the absolute second there's a pause in the conversation. What happens? Well, the client starts giving shorter answers. Their eye contact drops. The session is literally dying right there in the room, and the counselor doesn't even know why. Today, in this explainer, we're going to look at why our absolute best intentions often make things worse, and how we can fundamentally change our approach.
For most of us, especially if you're an early career practitioner, that silence, it triggers pure panic. You know the feeling. We get this sudden, overwhelming urge to just fix it. So what do? We jump right in. We start lecturing, we offer premature advice, we push. And the result? The client completely shuts down. It's totally counterintuitive, but our desperate attempts to resuscitate the session are actually the exact things killing it.
So, we really have to ask ourselves, what would have happened differently if the counselor had used OARS instead? OARS represents a massive, fundamental shift in how we view our job. It forces us to step down from that high podium of being the problem solver who just lectures everyone, and instead step into the role of a guide who truly listens. Let's walk through exactly how this looks in real, everyday session moments. We'll look at what getting it wrong sounds like, and then how to get it right.
Skill number 1, open questions start the flow.
And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. When a session is stalling out, it's very often because we're basically interrogating the client. We throw these yes or no questions at them that just back them right into a corner. I mean, think about it. If a client doesn't even think they have a problem, confronting them or arguing with them is a guaranteed way to start a fight. Instead, you've got to open the door. You simply ask something like, "What brings you in today?" Or, "What's a typical week like for you?" You are inviting them to speak, rather than demanding a confession.
Moving on to skill number 2, affirmations build their confidence.
Okay, so once that open question actually gets the client sharing, we need to reinforce their vulnerability. But watch out, because there's a huge trap here: empty cheerleading. Tossing out a generic "good job" kind of feels patronizing, doesn't it? It's like a teacher grading a student. Instead, you want to target a specific strength. Try saying, "You've been thinking about this for a while." That takes real awareness. You aren't just giving them generic praise. You are holding up a mirror to their own internal resilience.
Skill number 3, reflections connect the dots.
This one is a game changer. When a client is totally torn, like they want to change, but they also kind of want to stay exactly the same, arguing the change side automatically forces them to argue the stay side. You just end up in this useless tug of war. The real rescue maneuver here is a double-sided reflection. You say something like, on one hand, using helps you unwind, but on the other hand, it's affecting your relationship with your kids. You beautifully honor their ambivalence, letting both of those realities sit right there in the room together, until the change side naturally becomes louder on its own.
And skill number 4, summaries map the path forward.
A summary isn't just wrapping things up with a neat little bow. It's a highly strategic tool. But beginners, they often stumble here by completely taking over the planning and setting these massive sweeping goals. But remember this: a plan the client didn't create is a plan they simply will not follow. The proper move is to consolidate what they've shared and then literally hand the steering wheel back to them. Ask, what's one small step you could take this week? Keep it completely achievable and entirely driven by their own readiness.
So the crucial point is, why is all of this so incredibly hard to execute in the moment? That brings us to the writing reflex, a very common beginner trap.
We see someone sitting across from us in pain and we just desperately want to fix it for them. But as our source material warns us, we have to check ourselves. Are you talking more than the client? Stop. Did you just give advice before they even asked for it? Take a breath and reflect instead. The writing reflex is born from incredibly good intentions for sure, but it is absolutely deadly to your rapport. When you fall into this trap, you aren't guiding them anymore, you're just dragging them.
Which leads us to practice, making this a way of being. Recognizing that writing reflex is just step 1. Step 2 is utilizing your tools, like post-session reflections, to actively build that muscle of listening. When you do an honest self-check after a session and realize, oops, I definitely talked more than the client, or I gave premature advice, please remember this. That is perfectly 100% normal for new counselors. It's not a failure at all. It's just data. It's proof that improving your active listening is a deliberate, highly reflective process.
Because ultimately, OARS isn't a checklist you just memorize. It's a way of being in the room with someone. It's a fundamental human shift in how we show up. It's about bringing radical curiosity, a deep, genuine respect for the client's autonomy, and the patience to let them find their own way out of the woods.
So I want to leave you with this final thought today. The very next time you face silence in a session, you know that heavy, uncomfortable silence where the client's eyes drop to the floor, what will you do? Will you let the writing reflex take over and rush to fill that awkward void with unearned advice? Or will you take a breath, lean into OARS, and use that silence as an opportunity to truly, deeply listen? The choice you make in that split second changes absolutely everything.